Hello once again. To conclude this series, we'll discuss strategic risk taking. Every organization must always be strategic by looking into the future in order to prepare ahead of time. So, now let's review some definitions. What's strategic risk taking and why is it important? Strategic risk taking involves embracing calculated uncertainty to achieve significant competitive advantages and market leadership. This approach balances ambition with careful preparation and risk tolerance assessment. When to consider this, time sensitive opportunities, potential for high rewards, competitive advantage. Most opportunities in the market are time dependent. You either act now or you forget it forever. Well, to be able to do that, there are some requirements you must meet. One is thorough evaluation or assessment, strategic alignment, and risk appetite understanding. So within your organization, you must be prepared. You must, you carry out your due diligence and thoroughly evaluate the opportunity. And the opportunity must also align with your organizational objective. And also, you must understand your risk appetite. A typical example is Amazon. In 2020, in 20, in 2006, Amazon took a strategic risk by launching the AWS, first of its kind for Amazon, venturing far beyond its core e-commerce business into cloud computing, an uncertain market at the time, because it was one of its type, one of its kind. Rather than avoiding the risk, Amazon conducted thorough analysis, aligned the opportunity with its innovation strategy, and committed resources to build the infrastructure. However, this calculated risk created a market leading position and now generates over $80 billion in annual revenue. How about that? Fantastic, right? But Amazon was able to do that because, first and foremost, they carried out their due diligence properly and the opportunity aligns with its innovation strategy, and they have capability to withstand the shock if the opposite had happened. If implementation framework, successful risk response implementation require systematic approach to identifying, categorizing, and mapping risk. First, we identify risk across all levels. We categorize as avoid, accept, as the case may be, and we carry mapping using risk matrices and flowcharts. Risk mapping involves creating structured pathways to guide decision making through probability impact matrices, risk appetite statement, and decision trees. These other tools will be discussed later in the future, especially the decision tree and risk appetite statement creation. So, if we go back to what I usually call risk management first principle, which is the ISO 31000 framework, In ISO 31000 framework, you know, within you have establishing the context, identifying your risk, assessing your risk, evaluating the risk, and treating your risk. However, having carried out all across all of these, there is an absolute necessity to monitor and review your processes from stage one to the last stage. You must continuously review to see how effective your plans are working, and you must monitor and also communicate and report. So, to do this, there must be continuous risk monitoring. Risk monitoring is the ongoing process of tracking identified risk, implementing response plan, such as we discussed in the first and second video on this series, and evaluating the effectiveness of those plans through systematic review and data analysis. Um, thank goodness today there are a lot of data analytics tools that can be used to make the analysis more robust. Here are some key performance indicators. They are leading indicators. For instance, metrics that provide early warning signs of emerging risk. Because from time to time, you must scan the environment to look out for new risk. There are also lagging indicators, which are metrics that confirm trends and verify outcomes after an event has happened. Then there's threshold management, setting acceptable risk tolerance limits and trigger points for action. Then there's frequency, regular review cycles, match to risk velocity and potential impact. So some organizations could say weekly, monthly, quarterly, as the case may be. So risk monitoring methods as follows: risk reviews, which are usually regular examination of the risk register and response strategies. Your risk register is a list of all of the identified risk. The next one, which is also very useful, is risk audits, which are formal assessment of risk management effectiveness. Some organizations carry out risk audit quarterly, semi-annually, or annually, depending on the rate or velocity of the risk. Dashboard monitoring is another one. You know, dashboard is a visual tracking of the key performance indicators through technological platforms so that on the screen you can see everything at a glance. Then finally, continuous improvement. Every organization must continuously improve. And continuous improvement involves refining strategies based on lessons learned. And this lesson learned must be properly documented so that they become reference points for future events. So, technological integration, can make life a lot easier because modern risk monitoring leverages government risk and compliance platforms, uses of AI analytics, and automated dashboard to provide real-time visibility and predictive insights across different organizations or across the organization. So different organizations have different technological tool that enables their risk management processes. So we're getting towards the end. So here are industry examples that I want to share. We talked about Toyota production system. Despite criticism of its just-in-time inventory during disruptions, Toyota's resilient approach to risk combines lean practices which focuses on waste elimination, and strategy redundancy and proactive adoption. Today, Toyota is one of the most successful auto producers across the world. Healthcare risk management. Healthcare organizations implement transparent reporting cultures and patient safety protocols to minimize clinical risk and maintain quality care to their patients. Another case study, financial sector cybersecurity. Financial institutions are integrating cyber threat intelligence and information securing protocols to mitigate emerging digital threats while maintaining compliance with appropriate rules and regulations. Supply chain resilience. Leading companies diversify suppliers, implement multi-sourcing strategies, and utilize advanced analytics to predict disruptions before they occur. Here are some best practices. First thing to do is establish comprehensive risk management frameworks that align with your business goals. There is no one size fits all in all cases, so it must be an ongoing thing. The second is to assign clear ownership of risk identification and mitigation across all levels. That will help to create a risk-aware culture from top down within the organization. It could also be helpful to integrate risk monitoring into daily operations and organizational culture. Culture is everything. Everybody must know what to do at every point in time. And finally, we'll leverage technology for real-time risk monitoring and analytics. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of this series on risk response strategy. Thank you very much for your patience and for your time and participation. And please don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe for more Risk Smart Insight. Once again, I'm yours truly, Dr. Dennis Edogun. Thank you.